stop the sun from shining whenever you arrive.
Hello and welcome everybody. My name's Rose Smith from AbsoluteSoulSecrets.com. Thanks for joining me today for the lovely Leo February Horoscope in 2022. Okay, so a bit of an interesting month because we have Mercury turning direct on the 3rd of February. There's a little thing called a shadow period which probably goes for around 5 to 10 days afterwards, where there are still some effects or some energy left over from Mercury retrograde, but every day it gets clearer and clearer. So yes, we can say goodbye to Mercury retrograde again. That's actually happening 4 times this year. So that's the first hit of Mercury retrograde done and dusted. The other interesting thing, depending on your location, is that for some of us, there won't be a new moon this month, and that's because it actually occurred last month. On the 31st of January was the second new moon. So January is a long month, but February is a short month. So every now and again we get this thing where there's no new moon or no full moon in February. If you're west of Lafayette, Indiana, that's you. Okay, if you imagine Canada, the US, Mexico and South America, draw a vertical line from just southeast of Chicago all the way through those countries and continents. Is it 2 continents or 1 continent? I think it's 2 continents because South America, yeah, I think it's 2 continents. Draw this vertical line, and anything west on that side, then basically you don't get a new moon this month. Okay, everybody else gets a new moon on the 1st of February. Okay, so just briefly, I'll draw 2 tarot cards as theme cards for the month for you. Then I'll have a look at your horoscope, and then I'll do a psychic channeling at the end. If you're new, please consider subscribing to my channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, so let's go to the board, and we've got Prince Harry is here playing with your horoscope because he's like that. Okay, so we're going to draw the cards first and see what we come out with. And I have pre-shuffled them, so we'll just work around him. Okay, first card, first half of the month. Let's see what comes out. And we'll go with that one. I'll close my eyes now. What do I see for lovely Leo for February? Okay, a lot of communications going on this month. I actually see somebody writing a letter. It's like snail mail. So obviously these days it's probably online, but you know, I still see things the old way in my subconscious. The messages come through like they always have, in the same symbols. The card that comes up is a Page of Swords. This is all about thinking, and yes, some communicating here. Sometimes, see, she's got a sword here. This indicates a decision to be made. Something has to be cut. Because whenever we make a decision, we cut out a lot of options, and there he goes. Okay, so Mercury is in your 6th house of everyday work, and it's going into your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, but we'll talk about that in a moment. With this card, the Page of Swords indicates that there's some news, and I'm basically optimistic. So I always think it's positive news. It's time to look at the big picture. You can see these birds in the background here. So that's the first thing to consider. Now the next card to consider, Harry, the next card to consider, all right, closing my eyes, what do I see for Leo in February? Okay, I see a pendulum going back and forth. This relates to the first card. This is about a decision to be made, and perhaps you're swinging on the fence. Which way are you going to go? And you're not sure at first. But look, it'll come clear to you with time. The good thing is that this 2 of Wands card indicates some sort of restriction or limitation is about to be overcome. You'll see here there's a stone wall which has been some sort of barrier, and she's about to step out over that barrier. But of course she needs to take action. That's why she's wearing a red cloak, as you do, because action needs to be taken, and that gives you the energy to take action. The two baseball bats there also indicate that there's action. It's action stations coming up. So motivation and inspiration to get out of a restrictive situation. Okay, I'll put that there. If we can work around, maybe we can't, because we're coming to the horoscope now, and Prince Harry is just going to have to go bye-byes. Okay, alrighty, there he's gone. Bear these two cards in mind as we look at your horoscope. This is called a royal chart because a lot of the planets are on this western side of the wheel. So this involves other people, and it's like in some way we may be dependent on them. And there is a fair bit going on here in your 8th house of shared resources, joint resources. So other people are involved. Mercury retrograde is in your 6th house until the 3rd, and it will move on later in the month. And here it indicates that your normal everyday life and routine, there could be some sort of upset at the beginning of the month just with miscommunications with Mercury retrograde. It's in Capricorn, 24 degrees, 41 minutes Capricorn. So it could be that there's real sort of physical consequences. So do be careful of delays, especially in your work or your everyday routine, or maybe even your health or well-being. If you're scheduling appointments, like health appointments or well-being appointments, do double check that, you know, don't just drive down there. I would ring them first and say, just checking, confirming my appointment first before I drive anywhere, because there could be some sort of muck up at the beginning of the month. Now, I wanted to comment here, this is Pluto, and it's about to conjunct your descendant. So it's within 3 degrees. So this whole process, if we allow 8 degree, what's called a 8 degree orb on this side and that side, it could be 11 years. It's a whole great big period of time, but you won't feel it for that amount of time. You're probably, if you're sensitive or psychic, you may, but most people are only going to feel it when it's quite close to the descendant. So within a degree or two either side of the descendant, okay? And if we actually worked it out, the descendant would be sort of on this side, and it will be to do with your everyday work, health, or your routine, and then it could be to do later on with your relationships at a later date. So I just sort of comment on this because it is going to bring up a period of about a year or year and a half where there's something very major ending a cycle, and then a new cycle beginning in these areas of your life. It's still a little bit away, but it's getting closer and closer. So just sort of make a comment about that. And the new moon, if you're east of Lafayette, Indiana, or in the UK, Australia, or New Zealand, or any other number of countries, will be on the 1st of February, and it is here concerning your joint resources and also intimacy, the things that you share with other people. Okay, so, all right, let's have a look at your horoscope proper, if I'm allowed to look. 31st of January or the 1st of February, depending on your location, the new moon in your 8th house here could give you the desire to go on some sort of mini break or a getaway. You want to get away from your normal sort of everyday life and enliven yourself in some way. It's also a great time for putting things in perspective, getting an overview of daily matters, you know, the things that you normally deal with, your work, and also there's something there about growing your horizons, okay? Then we have on the 30th of January to the 8th of February, Mercury conjuncting Mercury, and you're likely to be feeling quite alert, mentally sharp and clear. Your ability to comprehend new concepts is heightened, and you can articulate your ideas very well now. You're likely also to be quite intellectually curious, and it's a great time to make plans and strategies or begin a course of study. Okay, so Mercury here in your 6th house, and it will soon move up to the 7th house. We also have from the 4th to the 7th of February, Mars squaring Chiron. This is a bit of a sort of uncomfortable kind of transit, perhaps, maybe, because Mars brings anger sometimes, and you might be very upset or angry about a situation, and it's a situation in the outside world that is getting triggered, but it really relates to something in the past. And Chiron is it's really an asteroid, or maybe a planetoid, and it's the wounded healer. So something is disturbing you at a deep psychological level, perhaps, and there could be some sort of emotional confrontation. So you need to confront yourself. That's really the main point. Rather than putting it out there in the world, you may choose to do that. But confronting yourself and looking at what actually happened within can give you the energy to start the healing process. Sometimes, things that happen to us, they may heal over with time, but it leaves a scar sometimes, and that scar can hurt under certain weather conditions. So make an effort to forgive and let go of the past if you can. The 7th to the 10th of February, Mars conjuncts Venus. This is great. It brings a lot of romantic passion into your life. You might feel compelled to be with someone special. If you're not in a relationship at the moment, you might be more likely to step out and be a bit bold and go after somebody in particular, someone that you're attracted to. It's also great for artistic and creative expression. 13th of February to the 9th of March, Mercury in your 7th house here. Okay, so it's going from the 6th into the 7th. The 7th house is a house of important and significant relationships, and it's time to, maybe have a talk, a heart-to-heart talk. You may seek the advice and counsel of other people, which will help you clarify your own thoughts. You could talk with your partner, a business partner, or other close associates. Well done, Harry. He's just knocked the horoscope. 1 second. I've got it back. It fell on the floor. Okay, and also with Mercury in the 7th house, you may be able to negotiate some agreement or come to a resolution of a problem you've been having for a while. You're probably more fair-minded and detached at the moment. The 12th of February to the 20th of February, Jupiter sextiles Uranus. This is fabulous. It's a very upbeat and progressive time. You're likely to be feeling more confident. There's likely to be a lot of socialising, spirit get-togethers, parties. You feel more optimistic and enthusiastic than usual. If you're conducting business with anybody, it's likely to go quite well. Any contracts or agreements that you sign now are likely to be quite favourable and work out successfully. You could become very interested in progressive options and take an active interest in new ideas and maybe even inventions. He just wants to be the centre of attention, this cat. Okay. And you may also participate in social change, become part of a group, and there's a lot of interest in that from the general public. The full moon is in your 2nd house here, which is the house of values. These are things like your possessions, your money, and the things that you value, and so it is time to take care of your valuables and your finances. You might look at investments or things like that and decide where you're going to put your money. It's not a good time to spend money on impulse or on a whim, especially on things that have emotional appeal rather than practical value. 14th of February to the 22nd of February, Jupiter sextiles Venus. It's an excellent time for personal relationships and friendships. You're able to share your feelings, your interests, and be quite open with other people. You're likely to be more candid than usual. If there's a difficult situation with somebody, you can offer an olive branch or figure out a way to effect a healing, and especially to do with family and close friends. It's a time when you could gain even greater appreciation. People just, become more affectionate and loving towards you. They respect you more. Business dealings and professional associations are also benefited. Again, any contracts that you sign are likely to work out quite well for all parties concerned. The 17th of February to the 20th of March, the Sun moves into your 8th house here, bringing insight and awareness around joint financial affairs, investments. It's a great time to clarify each party's expectations and to take care of legal business, insurance, wills, and so on. There's a desire to intensify the level of intimacy and honesty in your closest relationships. 21st of February to the 24th of February, Venus sextiles Neptune. This is beautiful because you're more receptive to beauty and you want to be surrounded with harmony and kindness. You could feel tender and gentle towards other people, and maybe you want to help them out in some way, and they will help you out in some way in return. The 28th of February to the 2nd of March, the Sun sextiles Uranus. This works out pretty well. It's surprising perhaps or unpredictable, and you could act on impulse and change your usual routine. You follow your intuition rather than, being logical and practical. You could find there's some weird thing that happens with time so that the tempo of your life accelerates. It could be a sort of unpredictable but exciting time. 28th of February to the 2nd of March, Sun sextiles Venus. Your relationships are especially affectionate and friendly at the moment. You may benefit socially or materially through opportunities that come through friends or connections that you know. It's a great time for parties, social gatherings, and to go out and have fun. 28th of February to the 3rd of March, Mars conjuncts Pluto. Okay, this is interesting because it's like you can get very sort of obsessed almost with getting rid of something that you want to cut off or get out of your life. You could overhaul your life in some way, and do be cautious that you don't push yourself too hard because the combination of Mars and Pluto together, you might just have something on your mind and you're just determined to do it no matter what. Okay, so watch your stress levels and don't push yourself too hard. Power struggles with other people are also quite likely under this influence. 24th of February to the 14th of March, Jupiter sextiles your MC. This brings good luck actually in your general life direction or your career, or maybe even in your reputation. You could get a promotion at this time. You could increase your pay. There could be cooperation and assistance from people in authority that, they're trying to help you. Government agencies and businesses also cooperate with you. If there's any sort of bureaucratic red tape, you'll find that is easier to handle. Somebody helps you there. You could sign a contract with a large concern or negotiate a project with another party, and these are likely to work out quite well. You're more confident and happy than usual, and you feel good about yourself, and you're likely to make a good impression on other people. And yeah, it's just a great time in your life. And around the same time though, from the 24th of February to the 1st of April, Chiron squares Venus. So this is like it's a turning point in a relationship. You may have to make a decision here. It could be that you finish a job or you finish a relationship. because you're not on the same page anymore. You don't believe in the same things anymore. And because it's Chiron, again, it's the wounded healer. And so it could be that something from the past is being disturbed, a wound is being disturbed, and you feel hurt about something that's come up again, and there's some sort of trigger that's going on to, like I said, that scar sometimes can hurt. So it's not a great time for going out now and accepting social invitations at the moment, because you actually need time out alone to be with your thoughts and to reach some sort of resolution of something. If you can, try to forgive anybody who was involved in the past, I know it's difficult to do that. Most of all, forgive yourself, okay, because that's super important. Forgiveness is very difficult sometimes. If we don't forgive that person, the other party is like living rent-free in our heads. So that's probably not a good idea. But you're forgiving them not for them, you're forgiving them for yourself so that you can move on and be free. Okay, so I'm just going to close my eyes now and see what I can see for you, lovely Leos, in February 2022. Okay, I'm out in space, so this is a very spiritual time. And you may have seen that photo of it's a nebula, I believe. I can't remember the name of the nebula, but the nickname is the Eye of God. That's what I'm seeing, the Eye of God. And it's like you've got a unique opportunity here from a spiritual perspective to see more, to have more insight into your life. It's like the Eye of God is here looking at you, and you can look at yourself and decide what you're going to let go of, what you're going to keep in your life, how you want your life to go, the direction of your life. You've got a lot of fabulous influences this month, and so it's up to you to make the most of those. Okay. Just be careful who you associate with. You may come, I'm like seeing a window here. That's a window of opportunity, but it's like there's somebody there that's a bit less than, not really a desirable sort of influence in your life. And you may decide to let go of some contacts or connections because maybe they're takers, they're not giving anything to you, they just keep taking from you, okay? And that's a decision only you can make. There's a big green tree with apples here, like Adam and Eve, it reminds me of, and it's about knowledge, and in particular, it's self-knowledge, okay? So you're gaining self-knowledge, and then you realise that what you want is really not the same as, when you're with these other people. It's not the same. You're not on the same page anymore. Okay, so that's it. I hope it's helpful for you. Let me know in the comments, share on your socials, and if you are new, please consider subscribing to the channel and hit that notification bell right now. Okay, Harry says goodbye, by the way. He's still here. He's asleep on top of the cards and everything. But have a wonderful month, everyone, and I shall see you all again soon. Thanks, and bye for now. Thanks so much for watching. Please visit my website, absolutesoulsecrets.com, for all things spiritual. Have a lovely day.